little off talk. I try to get these in some kind of order, and of course today we're a little bit off kilter here. So, but a foundational or a fundamental insight on game is the abundance mentality. There's always going to be enough girls. There's new girls turning 18 every day. And there's, as an old school Playboy explained to me about being in a city, there are more girls in this 5-mile radius that would gladly fuck you right now than you could ever fuck in a lifetime. And this is one of the reasons I encourage guys, no matter how they're meeting girls or if they're not meeting it, I encourage them to use online game to the best of their ability to reach as many women. You want to use day game. You want to you say, hey, you want to use social circle game. You want to use gym game. You want to use work game. You want to use hobby game. It doesn't matter. Use them all. The more leads you can pull in, the faster you can fuck more girls. But again, there are more girls within this 5-mile radius view that would gladly have sex with you today than you could ever reach in a lifetime. Guys get too myopic and they're talking to one girl and then it fizzles out. Then they're talking to the next girl and it fizzles out. And they're kind of like looking around for a week or two without talking to anybody. And you're talking about 52 weeks a year. You should be talking to hundreds, if not thousands of women. If you're single and you're building up a rotation, or you're looking for that one girl, you should be talking to a lot of candidates, hundreds of them, thousands of them. And you're going to go through. That's where these guys get hung up. And just like every other coach or guru or guy with some experience will tell you when they first hear a guy go, hey, I've got this question about this one girl. 99% of the problem is he doesn't have more girls in his life. Almost any problem with one girl is from a lack of options. I want to reach out to her all the time. Well, you need more girls to reach out to. I feel she got kind of mad at me. She said she felt like I was smothering her. We should be seeing 2 or 3 or 4 girls a week. You won't have enough time to smother one girl. Again, most men's problems with a single girl is they need more girls in their life, but they can't see beyond like the 1-1-1-1, that serial monogamy, which serves women, but it doesn't necessarily serve us. And it doesn't actually make us as attractive as we can be. And it doesn't actually work as well as most people think. So you have to make a decision. Again, running a rotation has some drawbacks. It's all in my how to build a dating rotation book, but the advantages greatly outweigh the negatives, especially when you're just dating and looking for a couple, 1 or 2 really high quality women. Bunny says, men who really keep this in mind will absolutely win. This mindset truth keeps the girls around him better behaved. Good point. I remember once when you and I were having a disagreement, I knew I didn't want to leave because you could have a new girl in the place before nightfall. I wasn't one to give up my spot. That's exactly it. And consciously or unconsciously, that's what girls, we've talked about that. I don't think I recognize that singular instance, but it's a good example is if she knows that she's the only one. You see this a lot of times in marriages where she cuts him off. He's sleeping on the couch. She decides you're out and he's out in the front yard with his shit. Or maybe he doesn't even have his shit. He just can't come home. She has nothing to fear of him wandering off, as opposed to these guys who have 2 or 3 girlfriends running around, and each girl has this gnawing dread or this sense of anxiety that if I don't do what he wants to, she's going to do what he wants to, good or bad. And then the girl can still make the decision not to do it. She can have it, but most of the time the value is high enough. But again, like Bunny says, even on the smaller things, girls are better behaved because the guy's value is higher. Even it's just the perception is that it's higher. And but just like this old school Playboy replied to me that you have to believe there's no matter what, just like a bus, there's another girl coming every 10 minutes. And once you start looking around, you start saying hi to every attractive girl you see, you start seeing more attractive girls and you start having more conversations with more attractive girls and you start talking to more attractive girls. You start meeting up with more attractive girls and having sex with more attractive girls. All of this adds up. Again, you will never run out of women. There's certain environments, they're not as conducive, say basic training in the military, working on a oil rig in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, some oil rigs that are like West Texas. There are a lot of small exceptions, but they're almost all temporary. Then you get kicked back out into a place with enough women that you could not fuck all of them in a lifetime. So just know that you can reach them all. But again, that's why I encourage guys to at least test out using online, because there's more women than you could ever like just meet face to face in your day-to-day life. They're out there and they want a boyfriend. They want to have sex and they want to meet you. So you got to make that happen. You got to be in front of them. That's a real deal. There are more girls in a 5-mile radius that would gladly fuck you right now than you could ever fuck in a lifetime. You just have to make that happen. Next slide.